Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mike.
It's Dan.
It's he.
This is a really depressing story, but also it's kind of inspirational.
Yeah.
I remember this happening years ago.
Me
I
too.
remember reporting on this story. Well, we talked about this story years ago.
Yeah.
Way before we had this channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
so-
remember this. It happened in 2011, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, because I don't remember this story.
I remember we talked about it maybe on the Run List or whatever, some channel back then.
Right.
We did this story on, and it was a huge story all across China.
Right.
So this girl, Zhou Yan, she made headlines because there was a guy who was romantically interested. Like
Right.
she was in like high school.
Right. They were
And-
both 17.
Right. And then the guy would pursue her for many times and got rejected. And he just showed up at her doorstep one day, poured kerosene on her, and lit her on fire.
Yeah.
Yep.
He went to her house.
Yeah.
And did this to her. And she suffered 2nd to 3rd degree burns over 30% of her body. These photos are really gruesome.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't remember the story when you guys were reading about it, but I went back to see this and I couldn't even look at
Yeah.
the photos. I couldn't even look at
Well, it made headlines because the guy was
Yeah.
the son of a government official.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was the height of like people recognizing in China that the Fuardai,
Yeah.
the what do you call it? The
For-
sons of
Nouveau
Guar.
rich.
Guar, yeah.
Yeah.
The sons of officials, the
Yep.
sons of rich. These guys literally, these kids do whatever they want.
Yeah, they were like running over people, literally
Yeah.
like killing people by accident and just walking away. Like, so that was the height of then. So that's why that guy, the son, Tao Run Kun,
Yeah.
was his name.
Well, so what happened after that was the son got sentenced to 12 years in prison,
Which is light, in my opinion.
Yeah, very light.
Yeah. The girl, in the son's family, so ludicrous. The
Right.
son's family is even like, well, we'll pay for your medical costs if you sign a document that says not my son's fault.
Right.
Which they didn't do.
No.
Of course.
And then
course
the
not.
courts awarded them.
They wanted at least 4 million RMB,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, the courts only awarded them 1 point something.
Right.
Yeah.
Which RMB, which is like
RMB.
nothing.
Nothing. Which, and then
Nothing.
the government official, that family appealed it because they thought it was too much.
Right. And they got the appeal, right? So then like later on, there was another court date to find out how much more the girl's family would get, and it turned out to be it was
nothing.
only 80,000
Yeah.
It was
RMB.
like minuscule. Yeah.
Minuscule,
Yeah.
and she fainted in the court.
Yeah.
It was just like add insult to injury.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So that's all done.
Yeah.
That's all done. There's so much controversy, and people, of course, are criticizing the court system, the family that did this. But luckily, this story, why we're talking about this now, is finally the girl, after 5 years, she posted photos of herself with all of her scars and wrote a very inspirational poem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. People are applauding her, of course, for her perseverance, determination, like looking for a brighter future. And like she could easily just be like, my life is ruined.
And I think
Right.
that's what's most inspirational about the story, because somebody tried to ruin her life.
Right.
And I think what the guy wanted to do was like, you won't go out with me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin your life forever.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you don't deserve a life just because you won't go out with me, which is the epitome of just this guy is just, he deserves to go to jail forever.
Well-
because if you think like that, what else can you do?
Actually, the mentality, you know what it is? I know this mentality very well.
Really?
In Chinese. It's not just that if you don't go out with me, I'll ruin your life.
Uh-huh.
It's the mentality of if I cannot have you, then nobody can have you. That's the mentality.
Yeah.
That's it. Because
messed
I
up.
hear, you know how I know this? When I was in China, my friends actually have said this to
No.
me. They're like,
No.
one of my friends, he was after a girl. Literally, I kid you guys not. This is like 15-year-olds, okay?
Yeah.
And he's going after a girl, he couldn't get her.
Okay.
And he's like, I want, he literally said this to me. I don't know if he was serious or not, but he sounded serious. He was like, I feel like I want to kill her because if I can't have her, I don't want anyone to have her.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because this guy, not only was he thinking it, but he acted
Yeah.
on it.
Because I honestly think that what kind of parenting do the parents have to do
Oh, yeah.
for the guy to think that he could get away with this?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're 17, you're a grown guy. Like
Yeah.
you're not like, I'm 7 years old, I don't know what this does. No, he knew what he was doing. He
Right.
was conscious in his mind, and he felt like he would get away with it. So I blame him, and I blame the parents for letting this happen.
Yeah.
I
And-
cannot even believe it.
I mean, that's why I think around that time people were also talking about the story because he was a son of a government official, and he probably also was like, yeah, I might not get in that much trouble for this because look at my peers, they didn't get in that much trouble. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that's what he thought, but probably some of that went through his mind.
This is really rare because we talked about this a lot. China is very focused on our appearances,
Yeah.
especially like a lot of the young people, right? What do we talk about? What's considered beautiful? 高富帅.
Yep.
白富美.
白富美,
白富美,
like
yeah.
okay, like beautiful, white, rich, beautiful, right? That's what girls' standards are. So it's very much a very superficial society in terms of like young people want to look good, want to appear, whatever.
Right.
For her to be able to come out and do this,
Yeah.
I feel like in particular in that society, it's so. You gotta have some guts. You gotta be really brave. You gotta be really determined. So it shows that she really has a strong soul. And you know what? She still looks beautiful. I mean, if you
She
see
does.
these pictures,
Yeah.
you could tell she's a very beautiful woman. For this girl to, I mean, what she went through, this is literally like one of the worst things someone could go through.
Yes.
And for her to step out
Right.
in front of everybody
Right.
and be like, you know, I'm still gonna face life.
Right.
I'm still gonna face my tribulations. I'm gonna face everything.
Right.
I'm gonna be determined and strong. That's awesome.
I think that's amazing. And I think that's actually quite exceptional. And I think what she does, not only is she allowing herself to move forward and not letting that guy get the better of her.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I know if he's a guy like this, I mean, nothing good is coming to him for sure.
Right.
Oh, mark my words. But for her, she didn't let him take her life away.
Right.
And not only that, but she also serves as a very inspirational figure to all the other girls out there who have went through something similar.
Like, this is some of the worst things that can happen to your body. Like, so many risks for infection, and she went through all of that. She got through all of that, and she came out on top, I feel like.
Yeah, and I'm also happy to see the netizen support for
Oh,
her.
yeah.
I actually believe in the good in people. I don't think that anyone would not show support in this situation.
Yeah.
And I think what needs to happen is there needs to be stronger punishment for people who think that it's okay to do this kind of thing. And I think that there's something wrong with the parenting and the society to allow some children, some kids to think that this is okay. I don't care whose child you are of. I don't care who your dad is. You cannot be like this. This is horrible. Like, there needs to be something where people are educated enough to know, yo, this is not okay.
Just punish them.
Punish
That-
them.
that's-
They need to be punished.
But that's the problem too.
Incredibly.
Because we just talked about the biggest rape story right now so far in America. The guy got nothing from Stanford.
No, absolutely.
Same thing. Like, these people who you don't get punished, so people are like, I could just do whatever I want.
Yeah. And obviously it's not just in China. We hear a lot of bad stories come out of China, but this kind of thing exists across the board, where there are people who think they're so entitled they can get away with anything. And a lot of times people don't make it through. Like, a lot of times the victims of these horrendous crimes, they don't come out the other side. And so when you see one who came out the other side, I mean, she's a motivational figure now. To me,
definitely.
she's a motivational figure now. Because, you know, it shows that you can go through immense adversity and come out on the other side.
Anyways, good for her. Glad she came out and did this, and I think she will serve as an inspiration to a lot of people. And we'll post the stories from before of the incident so you guys can get the full picture. Thank you all so much for watching. See you.
Bye.